Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. The day is currently December 27th, so there are only a few days left to 2024, and as per usual at around this time of year I like to do my annual kind of reset. I like to wrap up the current year by just decluttering, getting my things in order, and then set some goals for the new year, kind of make a vision board and all those great things. So I thought I would do that in today's video and kind of bring you along. I love to write lists, so I already wrote down a list of all of the things I want to do before the year is over, and kind of just to prepare for 2025, which is honestly crazy to say. I can't believe 2024 is over. It has just flown by. But anyways, we can talk about that when it comes to time to reflect on this year. Right now, the first and really the main thing I want to get done today is a bit of a financial check-in. I just kind of want to track my expenses and see what I've been spending my money on, especially because the holidays just passed. So I feel like I kind of did my holiday shopping and honestly blacked out. Like, it's kind of a bit of a stressful time. So I think it'll be helpful to touch base and see what I've been spending my money on so that I can head into the new year, you know, with all of that in mind. I actually had an appointment at my bank earlier this week where I just met with someone to open up an investing account and a first homes savings account. So that was a little bit intimidating, but regardless, I am proud of myself for taking a step towards, you know, trying to be more financially literate, trying to understand, you know, my finances more and just plan ahead for the future. All this to say, I'm gonna be checking in on my finances now, just kind of tracking my spendings and whatnot. I use Notion, but I'm kind of looking for a different way to track my expenses because I feel like it's a little bit tedious having to enter everything manually. But anyways, we will figure that out and I'm just gonna get to work on that. With my financial reset, the main thing I really wanted to do was just have a look at my spendings for the year and then also have a look at my income and where that was coming from. So this is honestly I find really helpful, and initially I wanted to do it every single month, but I am currently using this Notion template that I made and I just feel like it's not the most intuitive to use, so I haven't been very consistent at using it. But I think for the new year I'll try to find a better system for me to do these check-ins more regularly because I do find them very helpful. If anyone has any recommendations for how you track your spendings or how you budget, please comment them down below because I'd love to hear what you have to say. Good morning everyone, it is the next day and I'm just getting ready to go to Pilates now. I'm gonna go to Pilates this morning, and then when I come back this afternoon I'm probably gonna do some cleaning and kind of declutter, so I thought I'd take you along for that. I made myself a smoothie for breakfast so that I have some energy for the class, and I'm just gonna pack my bag now, and I thought I would show you what's in my Pilates bag, or like what I bring whenever I go work out. First, I got this little cute makeup pouch for Christmas for my sister. It's one of those like padded quilted makeup bags, and I just love how these look and I'm so happy I have one. So I'm gonna put all my like body wash, cleanser and everything in here because I'm probably gonna take a shower there after I finish the class. First things first, I'm gonna bring this body wash. This is the Lush Dirty Spring Wash and it smells so good. Like, it smells really minty and refreshing. So I feel like this is perfect when you finish a workout and you just want to feel like clean and fresh. Obviously going to be bringing deodorant as well. And I have one of these like small little hair brushes I'm going to bring. I'm probably going to wash my hair there as well because it's been definitely needing a wash. So I'm going to bring these little Vegamore shampoo and conditioner sets. I think this is also a hair mask. I'm also going to put in this 9 to 5 cleanser from Lush. This is just like really hydrating, and especially as someone who has really dry skin, I just love how this feels once I like wash my face, and it leaves my skin feeling like actually hydrated. So I'm gonna bring this. Also gonna bring some moisturizer and then obviously sunscreen as well. This one is from La Roche-Posay. It's 50 SPFs. And then I'm also gonna bring a little cloth just to wash my face and body with. So that's pretty much it for my little cosmetics pouch, but now I'm gonna finish packing the rest of my bag with everything else that I need, and then I will be on my way. Hello everyone, the time is currently 2:56. As you guys saw, I went to Pilates, took a shower there, and now I'm feeling nice and refreshed, but also definitely very tired. That class is just so intense, especially because it's in a heated room. I feel like I sweat so much, and I always come back home feeling quite tired, so not gonna lie, all I really want to do right now is take a nap, but we are going to power through. The next thing on my list for this little New Year reset is to tidy up my room and make sure I just have a clean space heading into the new year. I always function better in a tidy environment, and usually I make it a habit to pick up after myself and clean a little bit every day, but I think over the past few days, because it's been the holidays, I just kind of let things pile on. There are some gifts I have to put away, I have some clothes lying around, so it'll be nice to just put all that away and have a clean room, and then I can take a nap and really enjoy it to the fullest. But until then, I'm probably gonna put on an audiobook and just get to cleaning. Good evening everyone. It is obviously later now and I am in my living room because I thought this would be a cozy setup to do some journaling and kind of reflect on this year. I thought I would do a little bit of a check-in about journaling and give a bit of an update because this is my 2024 journal, and as you can see I am barely halfway through, whereas normally I would have easily filled this entire thing up and probably started another journal by now. But to be completely honest, I feel like I've struggled with journaling consistently this year. I'm honestly not sure why, because I am the first person to recommend journaling to anyone I meet. I swear by it. I feel like it has improved my life so much, and yet this year I'm not sure why, but I just struggled with keeping up with this habit, and I feel like only in recent months have I started to be more consistent at it again. And I think part of the reason why is because I've just been a little bit more loose in terms of my approach to journaling. I've let myself, sometimes write literally like half a page, whereas other days, words will spill out and I can easily fill up 6 pages. Also, some days I'll just answer some short prompts, and that's also, helpful and still insightful. So honestly, I feel like the majority of these pages have been filled out in recent months, but that's okay. I think heading into 2025, journaling is definitely something I want to revisit and settle back into, but right now I'm just really looking forward to sitting down and reflecting on this past year. I have so much that I need to dive into, and I think it'll be really therapeutic to just lay it all out on the page. I have my cup of tea, I have a candle going, the Christmas lights are on, so honestly, the vibes are great, and I'm really looking forward to just sitting down and putting it all in here and just pouring my heart out. So yeah, tonight is really more about the reflection, and then tomorrow I'll dive more into the goal setting and whatnot, but that's the plan. All right, let's get to writing. everyone. It has been a few days since my last update, and it's actually now January 5th, so we are officially in 2025, which is very exciting. Over New Year's, I just spent some time with my family. We ended up renting a cottage where we kind of just spent a few days together. We went skiing and all those fun things, so I wanted to take advantage of that time to just unplug and kind of take a break from vlogging and from social media, which was very nice. But now I am back and we are going to reflect on the resolutions that I had set in 2024 and set some new ones for 2025, so I'm very excited for that. At the top of my list are some social media related goals, and my main one was to hit 250k on YouTube by the end of the year. And even though I didn't hit this specific milestone, I'm still so proud of the progress that I feel like I've made this year, and also of the community that we have built together. I feel like this year I really got to challenge myself creatively and kind of just experiment a little bit more with the types of videos I wanted to make, but also with how I make videos, and I feel like I just learned so much from that. Another social media related goal for me was to become more consistent on Instagram and hit 50,000 subscribers on there, which was definitely very ambitious, and I in fact did not reach that goal because I did not become really consistent on there. I feel like, again, I focused a lot of my energy into YouTube this year, and hopefully I can carry this goal over into 2025. I obviously attached numbers to both of these goals, but they're really more so to guide me, and I'm obviously not going to beat myself up for not reaching that specific amount. My next goal was to work out consistently, and this is a goal I write down pretty much every single year. It's more of a lifelong ongoing objective, and I feel like for the first time this year I can officially say that I have made some progress, and I feel like this year I was a lot more consistent with my workout routine, and a big factor that contributed to that was booking workout classes. Obviously Pilates is like the main workout I feel like I've been doing this year. I try to go at least once a week, if not twice, or sometimes when I'm really motivated I'll go 3 times, but because the studio is a little bit farther away from my house, I've also recently started incorporating hot yoga, and that's also been a lot of fun since the studio is closer to my house and it's just a little bit different. One workout I also did this year that I forget is that I trained for and completed a half marathon with a friend. So obviously for that, because it was my first time running such a long distance, I had to follow a workout plan and just follow like some sort of structure. So that definitely forced me to be consistent, not only because I was doing it with a friend, but also because I had a specific goal I was working towards. And I actually signed up for another half marathon this year in October, so I am excited for that. Hopefully I get to document it a little bit more. I also wrote that I wanted to work with some of my dream brands, and I feel like in 2024 I got so many exciting collaboration opportunities and even gifting opportunities from brands that I either already use or have looked up to, so that's obviously something I'm very grateful for and always looking to carry over into the next year. As a film student and just someone who's interested in video editing in general, I also wrote that I wanted to get an editing internship in 2024, and this one is kind of wild to look back on because literally within the first week of the year I got a reply to an email I had sent to this editor asking if they were looking for an intern, and we ended up meeting up and, you know, decided to do an internship together. So I got to kind of work in a more hands-on way and really learn a lot from that. So that was definitely a very valuable experience that I'm so grateful for, and I'm hoping there will be more experiences like that in the future. Another goal of mine for 2024 was to save money, and I definitely feel like this year I became a lot more mindful and conscious of my spending habits, which was definitely helpful. I also did end up reaching my goal of how much I wanted to save. That being said, I feel like for 2025 I not only want to continue saving and continue, you know, tracking my expenses and my income, but I also want to become more financially literate and just overall educate myself a little bit more on my personal finance situation, so that way I can set myself up for success in the future. The next goal I wrote was to cultivate a positive mindset through a consistent routine, and obviously this is one of those goals where I can't say for sure like whether I achieved it. It's more of an ongoing objective that I'm constantly going to be working on, but I do feel like I had a pretty good routine this year and I was pretty consistent with it. I also wrote that I wanted to go on 2 solo dates per month, which I definitely did not do like whatsoever, but that being said, I still feel like I made some progress towards my broader objective and my purpose behind this goal, which was really just to spend more time on my own because I really value that time to reflect and to recharge. Even though I didn't schedule like 2 solo dates at the start of every single month, I still feel like I made time for me to be with myself and enjoy my own company like in my daily routine, whether it be time in the morning or before bed. And then I also got to travel on my own this year, which was such a big accomplishment for me. I went to Turkey on my own. I stayed in Greece on my own a little bit for a while. I also flew alone for the first time, both in Greece and then earlier in the year when I visited my sister in London. So all of those experiences I feel like were so valuable, and even though I did not schedule these solo dates, I feel like I still made so much progress. Another goal of mine that I guess you could say is more specific to my field of study and my interests is that I wanted to acquire on-set experience and be on a professional TV or film set at least twice this year. And this one I actually did not end up accomplishing, but to be honest, I'm fine with that. I feel like I did the work that was necessary on my end, in the sense that I reached out to whoever I could think to reach out to, and then whenever there was like a film set nearby, I would drop by and give my contact information, which was definitely a little bit intimidating, but I never ended up, you know, hearing back, which is honestly fine. So it's not like I didn't do any of the work, it's just that I never really heard back, and that's honestly, again, fine by me. I think I trust that, you know, the timing wasn't right, or that there will be other opportunities in the future. And then last but certainly not least, one of my goals for 2024 was to read 24 books, and I am happy to report that I ended up reading a grand total of 40 books last year, so that is obviously a big step for me. I feel like this is the first year where I'm actually more consistent with reading, and one contributing factor to this, which is gonna sound really obvious, but for some reason I wasn't doing this before, is that I've actually been picking out books based on what I want to read, as opposed to reading what I feel like I should read. Also, obviously documenting, you know, what I read and making a few reading videos here and there has also helped me reach this goal, so I'm hoping to carry this over into 2025 for sure. That pretty much concludes my reflection on my 2024 goals, and now I'm very excited to set some new ones for 2025. The angle has changed a little bit, but I'm back to share my 2025 goals and resolutions. I just wrote them down in my journal because I wanted to keep things simple this year. Last year I did a whole Notion template, and I was trying my best to be like very specific and detailed, which I do think can be helpful, but I feel like for me right now, I'm at a point where these goals are just priorities of mine, and they've been on my mind for a while already, so I don't feel the need to necessarily dive into that much detail. That being said, one thing that I really want to implement this year are quarterly check-ins, where every single quarter, so every single 3 months, I will check in on my goals, and to hold myself accountable, I'm gonna document it in my vlogs, because I feel like I said I would do this last year, but then I didn't really end up staying consistent with it. So this year I'm making a promise to you guys to actually check in on these goals and resolutions, and feel free to hold me accountable. At the top of my list, number 1 is to journal on a somewhat consistent basis, and as you can tell here, the wording is quite vague and loose, but I purposefully wanted to leave this kind of open because I realized that for me to be consistent with journaling, it's easier if I don't feel too restricted. Another goal of mine is to complete an internship in whatever field or position interests me this year, and again, I feel like last year getting to do an editing internship was such a valuable experience. I really enjoyed getting to learn in a more hands-on kind of way, so I'm hoping to keep that going this year, and I'm kind of open to whatever position or field interests me. I know obviously I'm interested in film, but I know there are so many roles, so I'm keeping, you know, my horizons open. I think as long as I have that intention to complete an internship sometime this year, then it's already a good step. My third goal is to become more financially literate. Again, I kind of touched on this briefly when I was reflecting on my goals for 2024, but I really am hoping to not only educate myself more on saving, investing, budgeting, and all of that, but also apply those lessons, you know, to my own personal finances. I also wrote that I would like to read 40 books or more this year. I'm just gonna keep it going with the amount of books that I read in 2024 and see if I can read the same amount. I would also like to keep up a consistent workout routine going into the new year. I feel like I did a pretty good job at this in 2024, so I'm just gonna kind of continue doing what I've been doing. With that, I also wrote that I would like to cook a little bit more often and also have fun and try new recipes. I feel like I already do cook a decent amount, but I would like to be a little bit more consistent with it, especially in terms of meal prepping. The next goal is one that kind of arose out of my end of year reflection when I was just journaling about how this year went and when I was reading back on previous entries, and that is to stop letting criticism get in the way of my creativity. It's not necessarily something that I can like calculate or measure, but I feel like just having it on here as a reminder is going to be really helpful, because that's kind of a big lesson that I learned in 2024. To go along that, I wrote that I would like to maintain consistency on YouTube, but then also try to expand that into short form and try to figure out a workflow that works for me to create short form content. I really want to reduce my screen time in the morning and right before bed. Again, I feel like I've been on a good roll in the past week or so, but I kind of have my ups and downs with this. And then last but not least, I wrote that I want to cut myself some slack and also not push through when I feel burnt out. This is really something that I am working on, and again, this is one of those more lifelong goals, but I just wanted to have that on here as a reminder. Those are all of my goals and resolutions for 2025. I'm really looking forward to checking in on these in future videos. I think it's going to be really nice to kind of track my progress a little bit. Anyways, now I'm going to stop talking and make a vision board, which I'm also really looking forward to. And yeah, let's get to work. At the start of every year, I like to make a vision board, and I feel like it's the perfect way to wrap up this yearly reset, because not only is it a nice way to visualize your goals, but it's also just a lot of fun to make. I love to scroll on Pinterest and find different photos that I feel like represent what I want my year to look like, and then I set it all up on Canva to make this kind of collage that I'll set up as a wallpaper. I kept mine very simple this year. I didn't want it to be too cluttered, and I'm just gonna set it as my wallpaper on my iPad so that I look at it every day. And that pretty much brings us to the end of this video. If you've made it up until this point, I know this video is a long one, so I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day or night, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!